Hello and welcome to another question and answer. This week featuring Nathan Pollard. So Nathan, welcome. How are you doing?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's a nice sunny day today, so it's a change from the rain, so it's always a positive start.
Absolutely, yeah, we definitely like a little bit of sunshine. So before we jump into the main fan questions, I'd like to ask yourself how you feel your season's going on a personal level, as well as obviously for the team. I guess it's a leading question.
Yeah, I think probably for the team, I'll start with, I think team's obviously the most important thing, and I think probably disappointing in terms of how we would have wanted to start. I think overall, I think the first 4 games of the league season, we went in tied in the third period, and we've been quite short bench. We've had quite a lot of injuries, but when you're in games like that with 20 minutes left, you need to find a way to win. And I think from a team perspective, I think what Slava's drilled into us maybe the last 2 or 3 years is we've always found a way to win. It's always been tight in the third, and we've always been able to find that way to win. And obviously it's a new group, there's quite a lot of new players, and obviously some main guys missing through injury, but I think as a team we know that we should be getting results there. And I think actually we played really well on Sunday against London, and we were really strong that game. And I think as it goes on now, we've bought into the system, and I think we've been unfortunate with a couple of results as well. I think this season can really kickstart, but it's still early days. I think we've played 7 league games and there's 48 or whatever there is, so there's still 41 league games to go, and I think we can hopefully go on a bit of a run and do that. I think from a personal level, I think I feel fit, strong. I feel as I always have. I think maybe just missing a bit of that scoring edge. I think confidence levels maybe from 18 months off and then coming back into it. I think I'm probably not performing as well as I would want to in terms of point production and everything like that. I think this weekend I had a good weekend against Sheffield and London, and I'm hoping that I'm able to bring that energy for the team and do all of that sort of stuff. But I think, yeah, there's a lot more to come from me, I'm hoping, this season. I do think we rode the momentum really well in London. We scored and we dominated the game after that. And I think that's what we need to do, is we need to, like you said, capitalise when we are dominating, and we need to make the goals come from that. So I think it's part of it's coming together. The energy's coming together, the commitment level, the compete level. I think it's then just turning it into chances and goals.
Right, we'll get on to our fan questions then. So the first one we have was submitted by Faith on Instagram, asking, when did you first start playing ice hockey?
So I started playing when I was 9 years old. So my twin brother Conor, who's former of Peterborough Phantoms, started when he was 5, and I was a little bit of a wimp, a little bit scared and didn't want to do it. So actually I started 3 or 4 years after him. Wish I'd obviously started sooner. And obviously used to go and watch all of his games, but now I want to be going until I'm 50, 60, until my legs give up on me because I love it that much. So yeah, at 9 years old I started.
So we have 2 questions very similar. So firstly, I've got it down here. Charles has asked, why did you wear 21 with the Islanders and then change to 12, obviously, when you came to the Phantoms? And the second question, which is kind of very similar, from Patrick, asked why do you wear the number 12?
Yeah, so wear number 12. I've grown up playing number 12 for juniors. I think a couple of players I looked up to back then used to wear number 12, and I was only 5 or 6, so I used to be like, oh, it's a cool number, I want to wear that. And then when I went to the Islanders, Dale Jowett was wearing it. I think he'll be familiar to some Phantoms fans, and he was wearing number 12, and he'd been an Islander stalwart. I think he's maybe got the most appearances and everything like that, so I can't come in saying I want number 12. And quite simply, 21 is 12 backwards, so I wore 21 for the Islanders, and then obviously as soon as moved up to the Phantoms and 12 was free, I snapped it back up.
Patrick's also asking, what's your favourite hockey memory?
I think it's got to be, it's 2. It's got to be with both treble years. I think getting over the line in both of them was actually really important for us, but I think in different elements. So I think capping off the treble year with the Islanders, we won the playoffs against Chelmsford, who they'd always had our number, and I think we went away and beat them like 9-1, which was completely unheard of and was amazing to sort of have that feeling of taking that trophy from them. I think for Phantoms, actually, it's the first trophy we won, so it's the Autumn Cup against Sheffield. I think Phantoms had been without a trophy for a good 4 or 5 years since the Coventry win with Slava. And I think everyone was desperate to win. We'd put in a lot of effort and a lot of work. And actually to get over the line in Sheffield, I think the chips were against us at points. We were 2-0 down away and scored 2 late goals. And then we went down 4-3 at home, and we did go a few goals down at home, and we managed to bring it back in the third. And actually, it's such a nice feeling to finally get over the line. And then that was the start of obviously 3 trophies that season. So I think it's both of them. It's difficult to pick between the two. Being a local boy and supporting the Peterborough teams since I was 5 when Conor started playing, I think for me to be able to lift that trophy in front of the fans, and obviously they're all showing their appreciation and stuff, and seeing how much it means to them as well as how much it means to me is massive.
Moving on, we have Graham has asked, he says, as our resident speedster, what's the fastest you've been clocked at on your skates?
I wish I knew the answer to that, Graham. I'd love to have some form of speed test on being able to skate. I don't think I'd clock as fast as Morgan sometimes. I think actually I'd class Morgan as maybe taking the crown as a resident speedster. But yeah, I think can go pretty fast on the skates. I'd love for if Fan TV could purchase a speed gun and maybe test us all. But maybe we'll leave that one to Matt to figure out the best way of doing that. But yeah, I do think obviously we do clock some good speeds in the hockey, and actually it'd be quite interesting to see what sort of speeds they are.
Question from Dan Breen, submitted through Instagram, asks, could you ever go back to playing defence?
No. I think I played D, obviously Dan will know, I played D my whole junior career, played conference and national level and stuff at defence, but I think ever since, I think it was my first year, there's quite a lot of injuries and got asked to play forward, and I think playing D, and it sounds a bit crazy, but playing D as a junior, not everyone's at the best level in the world, and you can make a lot of hits, you can skate end to end, you can take it round, and you score as many goals as you do it as a forward sometimes if you're a good enough defenseman. Whereas when it comes to senior hockey, it's a lot more defensive. There's not as much opportunity to go forward. Players are a lot better. Players are a lot heavier actually, so it might hurt to hit them a bit harder than probably you do. So I think actually I enjoy forward a lot more. I think actually the last few years I've tailored my game to be able to play forwards. I've tried to get as fast as I can, tried to get as fit as I can to be able to give that presence. And I think actually maybe some of the skills that I've got that maybe some other members of the team may not have in abundance would maybe be wasted as a defenseman. But never say never. I think if obviously there's lots of injuries and Slava required me to play D, then obviously I wouldn't have to think about it or do anything to help the team. But I do enjoy playing forward. I think the guy that shocks me every game with how good his hands are and how good he is going forward is Brad Barron, and I think I'd love to even say I was anywhere near as skilled as he is, but yeah, I think he's your offensive defenseman that's probably no one's seen in Peterborough since maybe James Morgan when he was in his prime. So I think if you're looking for an offensive defenseman with some silky hands, it's Brad Barron that everyone needs to keep an eye on.
From Twitter, we have Wisdom, or Ben, has submitted the question, who's your favourite current or past NHL player?
I think current would be McDavid's, and I know that's very common, and everyone says it's quite boring, but to watch him in a game, and you've got to think you're at the top level of the world, you're the best players in the country, and he makes it look like he's playing on beginner mode for the majority of it, puts up 100, 150 points a season, and speed to burn, and Edmonton seems to be a wagon at the moment. I mean, they're unbeaten in regulation, they've won their 8, and everyone said they'll never achieve anything because obviously McDavid and Draisaitl and that's it, but I just think he's so entertaining to watch on the puck and everything like that. I think probably a shout out to Patrick Kane as well. I think he's a joy to watch with his hands and how much he used to dominate the game, and he still does to an extent, but yeah, McDavid now for me.
Cameron Mercer has sent us a question through Instagram asking, what's your favourite away rink?
So Cameron is a big Haringey Huskies man. So I'd like to say the Haringey Huskies rink, but I've only played there as a home player. So I do think that's a difficult one. I mean, as a Huskies player, I loved my time there. Actually, it was great, but they took me on for the Spring Cups, etc. It's amazing to play there, and I'd love to go back there again and play. I mean, it was really cool, but obviously they're quite a few tiers down from where we are at the moment in the league. And until my legs give up on me, I'd like to try and play at the highest level I can for as long as possible. I think actually I really like playing in Sheffield, just because of the big ice. You get a lot of space. Obviously, being a Speedy player, I like the space that it creates and all of that sort of stuff. So, yeah, Sheffield's probably the nicest one for me. I used to really like playing at Bracknell, which is probably uncommon because not that many people like playing there. But it's a nice ice surface. The changing room's quite nice, but obviously Bracknell rink's no more, sadly. So, yeah, it's going to have to be Sheffield for me. I would like to say Milton Keynes because it's similar ice pad, but I don't like Milton Keynes and I don't like their fans, so it doesn't really count.
Right. Next question we have also from Instagram, from Millie, who's asked best player you've played with.
That's a really difficult one, actually. Probably import-wise, there's some really, really good imports, but I was 17, 18, so I didn't get much ice time at the time. But Maris Edens, who's obviously his shirt's on the wall, that's a testament to how good he was. And actually, Maris came to us at the end of his career, so he had a couple of years with the Phantoms at the end of his career and still was incredible. He scored goals against goalies like Lundqvist and people like that, and it's a testament to how good he actually was. But I've not seen a player read the game as well as he does. He has the hardest backhand slap shot I've ever seen, and he's just such a good guy as well and really professional. So I think actually probably import wise it's Maris. He's absolutely incredible. I think Brit wise, probably a bit biased because I've grown up playing with him, but goal scoring wise, it's got to be Lukey Feds, who's currently tearing it up for Coventry at the moment. And I think I've grown up, Luke's one of my best friends, grown up playing juniors with him, and anytime we needed a goal in juniors, he just seemed to be able to find it, and you can see the success he's having at Coventry with all the goal scoring he's doing and everything like that. So I think natural goal scorer wise, I think he's undoubtedly the most talented I've seen personally, and obviously grown up seeing the development that he's had doing that. So yeah, probably Lukey Feds on that one as well.
Moving on, we have Tom Horspool on Twitter has asked, after you finish hockey, so a ways down the road, are you going to become a long distance runner? And he's used hashtag lockdown PBs.
So I think Tom's probably alluded to the fact that unfortunately when there's no ice hockey, I got very bored and started running. When I put my headphones in, I hated second one to the final second that I was running. I didn't enjoy it, but what I do enjoy is chasing the targets and chasing the PBs down, and it's probably because I'm very competitive. I don't think I've done a run since hockey season started again, because again I just don't enjoy it enough, and with the busy schedule we got at hockey, running probably wouldn't be the best thing for my legs. So maybe when I retire I might chase some PBs again, but I'm glad that I don't have to go running all the time, just to keep the fitness up. So yeah, it's nice. But yeah, thanks Tom.
So this one comes from Toby Clark asking, what's your favourite flavour of Monster Munch?
Oh, that's a tricky one because pickled onion and roast beef are both so good. I think probably roast beef, because if you're getting pickled on your Monster Munch, you've got to buy a pack of chewing gum straight after. And if you're around and there's no chewing gum around, you're a bit screwed. So probably roast beef is probably a little bit less strong, but both are great. I don't seem to see the flaming hot ones for sale anymore. I don't know if they do them, but they used to be okay as well.
Right, okay. So the final question we've got comes again through Instagram, and this is from Ben, I believe, who's our match announcer, and he's asking, who's better, you or Conor?
Conor's better. I've definitely admitted it to everyone I speak to in the past. I think pure talent-wise, skill-wise, Conor is a great hockey player. I think, unfortunately, work circumstances have meant that he can't play for the first team this year and other commitments and all of that sort of stuff. But in terms of pure skill, as a forward, as a good player, Conor, I think get away with being able to play at a higher level as well, because I take pride in my fitness. I'm a very fast skater, switched on defensively, and I think actually if you could mould me and Conor together, you'd probably have a very, very good hockey player. But I think we both have our strengths, both have our weaknesses, but I think if you're looking for who is the better hockey player, it's definitely Conor.
Do you have a message for the fans, and what do they mean to you?
Yeah, so I'll probably start backwards actually, Matt. So what do they mean to me? I've probably alluded it to in the past, but I used to be there. So I used to be in the stands with my Phantom shirt on, chanting away and singing and idolising some of the Phantoms players and all of that sort of stuff. So for me, it's probably even a bit bigger feeling than some other people. I think it's really personal to me, but when you see a Pollard jersey or even a Phantoms jersey going around a rink, like, that's special. And I think it's nice to know that people are behind you and they stick with you, obviously, through all of the times that we go through. And obviously it's not been the greatest start, and that's probably going to move on to my message. It's not been the greatest start for us, but I do think the games are entertaining. I do think we're in every game as well. I don't think there's been any blowouts, especially at home. I don't think there's been any games where we've not been involved in. And I think just stick with us, trust the process. Obviously, Slava's built a good team. We've been a bit unfortunate with injuries, but we're starting to find our feet. We're starting to find our form and our rhythm, and stick with us. We put it all on the line to try and get those results, and we want to win trophies. We want to have success of a team as much as you guys do. So yeah, it's just keep being behind us, keep being that sixth man, and promise we'll start to get on a run and bring some more successful times to Peterborough.
Great. Well, Nathan, thank you very much for your time, and your answers have been superb as always. So thank you very much.
Awesome.
See you at the weekend.
Thanks, Matt.